Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay. And here I am. I'm looking at the camera. Now we got a monitor over there. It looks a little bit more easy for me. But good morning, everybody. Holy smokes, we almost were late on this one. Got up a little bit late, like 5 minutes late. But the news is breaking, and a whole bunch of stuff going on in BC. And thanks to everybody who's reaching out, providing me more information on what's going on at that ostrich farm. But good morning to you first.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Hello.
How do you like your monitor?
That's all right. I don't think I'll use it much, but it's there.
Oh, see, look, I'm backwards there. Ooh, she won't use it much. Oh no. For me, I need it because I can't just stare into space. So I guess you can.
I can.
You can. Yeah. So I did a couple little cheap monitors, just computer monitors, so that we have something to look at when we're looking at the cameras. And for me, it's going to help a lot because I would be like this, or be like this, normally like this, but now I can do this.
Yeah, now you can do that.
There we go. I need some training. I'm not an expert. We're not professionals here, are we?
No.
As you saw this morning, we're trying to get everything ready to go. Like, oh, well, look at that. We got a show. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's why we're up at this hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to start off with, nothing really going on with the homestead other than the change of the studio yesterday. So if you're keeping track on a little bingo card, I think there's one more thing we're not, and that's a better camera here. To this one here, because that's an old cell phone, and it's not helping things much. But we'll change that, and that's it. Are we done?
Don't ask me. You should ask yourself. It's you.
That's what it feels like to be put on the spot. Ask me. I think that's it. Like, we're not going to paint the walls in here or anything like that. We've now got our heat, we've got our insulation, we got our lights, cameras, and action. So we're good to go. Main reason for this is I'm likely going to be doing a lot more solo stuff. So I'll be facing there a lot. Whether it's a Saturday night mashup, little news snippets throughout the day, or whatever. I was trying to get the studio set up so it could be dual, 4 people, or solo.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're kind of there now.
Yeah,
I think we're there now. Yeah. So to those watching, you may see a little bit more of this. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah. And then some more of these. And then we'll have, you've seen it with 4 people. We did the interview with Paula Jay and Drew.
Yeah, it's great.
Right. We're just planning for you guys. Okay. We're trying to get things ready for you all. I have to address this. I have no choice. I have to address this. The ostrich stuff. So thanks to the people, and many of you did, reach out to me after the show, or us. Some of them sent it through an email or whatever, trying to educate us on what's going on with the ostrich farm and the whole situation. If you are really interested in digging into it, the story goes back to 2022. It's not a brand new thing at all. And last night there was a fire. Okay, somebody set fire to the bale boundaries, the hay bale boundaries that were being set up yesterday. Someone set fire to them. It was caught pretty quick.
Good. It was very dangerous.
The RCMP are on site, so they addressed it very quickly. The people at the farm offered some equipment. It was turned down because, quite frankly, at this stage, the government, RCMP, and those people want nothing to do with anybody else, probably for safety reasons. You don't need a bunch of people trying to fight a fire that are not trained or equipped with it. But in either case, somebody, it appears there's been arson there last night, because we live in Alberta. There's bales of hay all over the place.
It's been baling season.
The one thing they don't do is spontaneously erupt in flames. It might have been an accident. Maybe some sort of exhaust was near it and it caught fire, because that does happen when they're transporting. Sometimes the exhaust from the truck, a little bit too close to the bales, you get a fire. But once they're set into a field 3 high, and these are large bales, really large ones, they don't usually just spontaneously erupt. There was no reports of lightning or anything like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Okay. If it was arson by the people that are protesting or trying to save these birds, that was a bad move. Because already 2 people have picked up criminal charges. Katie and her mother picked up obstruction charges yesterday. Look, I'm not sure if that's really the path to do much good. But also what happened is people were sending me parts of the legal documents. So I'm
Yeah.
starting to learn what's actually going on as far as the accusations are concerned and what the court made their decisions on. Starting to learn some of that information. And there certainly was enterprising going on. It wasn't just pets, okay?
Mhm.
So there's a lot of narrative out there that these were pet birds. They were not. Okay, this is a farm. I knew somebody who had an ostrich farm and an emu farm in Ontario.
Mm.
It's for meat. Okay,
Yeah.
it's for meat. Um, and the operation changed in 2022 from farming under meat. This is why the Canadian Food Inspection Agency is involved. Food.
Yes,
This is
that's right.
because this was meant to be human consumed. That's why they were involved doing testing all along to begin with, because that's what the license was for. But the operation changed to exporting alt medical products to Japan. So we'll get into some more of those details in a bit, not
Yeah.
today, in a bit, because we're still digging around. But after the Sean and Teresa Buckley episode, of course, we support naturopathic medicine.
Yes, we do.
We certainly do. But there's also alt medication markets, and some of them are as ancient as snake oil
Yes.
and as recent as we've all seen it. Like there's a little electric thing will stimulate your muscles and make your muscles move, and then you'll turn into a big muscle man. Dr. Ho, I think it was. You
Oh,
saw
back
that?
in the day, yeah.
Yeah. So look, and then sometimes things are very accurate. They're very truthful, and
Yep.
they do work, and they do help people. Um, that's where the information is very thin.
Yep.
Very thin. So we're staying on top of this because, of course, it's breaking news. Everybody's following it. But there's a big reason why these birds didn't end up at Dr. Oz's farm. A
Because that was
billionaire.
offered to them, yeah.
Yep, a billionaire's farm. So there's actually two offers to
Mhm.
move them down to the States and study them and see if these are magical birds that can save mankind. And that just never happened. And it didn't happen for a reason. And no, it wasn't just because the Canadian government said no. It happened for a reason.
Yep.
So this is going to come out more as more information is being fleshed out. I do have several sources that are fleshing this out with me. And in addition to people sending those long save the birds, their pets, this is cruel messages. We'd like to dig a lot further than
Mhm.
just the surface level because we have run into many situations now where things are just not quite what they seem.
Yep.
And we are the type of show that will be honest with you, even when it means we receive threats and hate and all that kind of stuff. We will be honest with you. But there's certainly more to this story than is being reported in some of the alt media.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Correct.
just wanted to give you that update because a lot of people seem to think that we're pretty ignorant on it. The truth is, of course, we knew about
Yeah.
the first stories. We looked into them and we ran into some aggressive walls. They did not want to even let us know what the allegations were. Like one of the things
Mhm.
that really bothered me was when I asked, what is the government's position on this? It's not that I believe it. I'd like to know what the government's position on this is because I want to be full. I want to bring to my own knowledge all sides. And again, it's not that I'm going to believe what the government writes. I just want to know what the allegations were. And until recently, that wasn't something I had access to.
Mhm.
And when I asked those questions, I suddenly got shut down as somebody that was is safe to talk to
Yeah.
this particular thing on, which is odd because we've exposed a lot of government stuff using their own documents. Whose trial is a good one for
Yep.
that, highlighting their inconsistencies, highlighting how that's impossible, highlighting that, oh, well, that means they're using this technology when they really shouldn't be. Oh, that happened before the warrant. Like looking at the government docs are very helpful
Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
searching for the truth. But I was kind of locked out of this early when I started poking around for that. But the good news to my viewers are I'm starting to get them. Okay, there is some
Mhm.
people that have access to this and receive some of them. I'm starting to get them, and I'm looking into it. There was an enterprise here. It wasn't fluffy pet ostriches for your backyard. It was selling products into the Japanese market, and yeah, but we
Mhm.
are looking more into that now.
Yeah. More information will roll out, which we can properly analyze, review, and then report on.
Correct. And if the government's wrong and this is some sort of big conspiracy that mankind can be saved by these magic birds in BC, well, then that's exactly what we'll
Exactly, yeah.
flush out, okay? But I'm not jumping on the bandwagon because others are pushing hard on it, and I'm just a stubborn person. If I'm pushed on something, what do I do?
Yeah, you will resist. You will resist, and also you'll just look at it for yourself, form your own opinion.
Yeah, if you tell me not to talk to somebody or not
Mhm.
to look at something, that's exactly my next step. And in this particular case, I got pushed back hard. I was supposed to just say what they want me to say, and that's exactly why it happened.
Mm.
So on that one, I hope nobody was harmed. I hope that the
Oh, yeah.
fire doesn't start again. I hope that going forward, um, we'll get more information.
Mhm.
I'm certainly sure that the farm owners have some tissue samples and blood draws and all this other stuff that can be studied in the scientific world to see what was really in the blood and the
Yeah,
eggs.
their own
and stuff.
official documents and reports and
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. And if this is what some people are claiming, then we'll get to the bottom of that.
Mhm.
But I have my suspicions. And I don't know if you bought the Lulu coin, which
The
is
coin,
the
yeah.
crypto coin that was made for these birds. $25,000 worth of it, I think, is in the market right now. So I haven't, and
No.
I don't know anybody that has, but many has. So there's a Lulu coin out there that was created for these birds. And to me, I'm not CopyZilla.
I
CopyZilla,
know.
if you watch him on
He's cool.
YouTube, yeah, he's very cool. But he will expose how basically most, if not all, meme coins are scams because they only enrich the people that started.
Yeah.
They never enrich and turn into a Bitcoin for anybody else. And I'm not saying that's happening
Mhm.
here.
Because that could be the whole sole purpose, that it's solely to raise funds for farm. As opposed to, hey, everyone, let's create this currency and it's going to be our new currency forever. No, I don't think that's the goal, one would hope.
You're so sweet. I love you so much. One of the ways I get away with not like, looking great and getting old is because you're so sweet. Um, that would be one of the first times that actually transpired out of the thousands and thousands and
Mhm.
thousands of meme coins from Haktua to whatever.
I
Like,
love that one.
look, I wish I could say we live in a virtuous world where everything's exactly the way it seems.
Mm,
But I'm going to do my best to tell all the truth on this one. And I know we're going to be getting emails, and I expect it. But I've received death threats from the Khalistanis and the Indian government and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not really worried about a bunch of people that love some birds or what else can come from this because my audience is here because we do that. We look past the headline, we look past the one side story, and we start digging it out. And we absolutely expose government if government's in the wrong,
mhm.
lying on the
Happy to.
stand.
Mhm.
Not so much happy to.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst things about this is when you do find out the government is absolutely lying to you. That sucks. But it would be our responsibility to. I think it'd be
Mhm.
a safer way to say that because it bugs me when the government's lying on stands, the RCMP officers changing their story
Yeah,
between one trial and the other. It's just, oh boy.
it's being
Um,
done.
yep. All right. So there, I think we've covered that one. But if it smells like an ostrich, walks like an ostrich, and sounds like an ostrich, it might be an ostrich. An ostrich. All right. So let's go ahead and get into that one. And I can hear the keyboards clicking right now.
Yeah,
The
there's been
emails are
lots of,
coming.
save our ostriches, fair enough, and
Yep. I trust you love the birds.
mhm,
I get that. But there's more to this. It certainly is. All right, let's get into the other news because there's a lot more going on in this
mhm.
world. So while you're looking at BC, there's other things happening. Big heads up, and you're going to have to help me with his last name here on the screen. But Travis Haraj,
Don't ask me.
I asked you. Yeah. So he was a CBC reporter. He kind of broke the glass ceiling at CBC by saying a lot of it is narrative driven. They're making him say certain things, and he came out and quit. CBC has now accepted his resignation. They processed his resignation. So that came out yesterday. He is now teaming up with Carmen Bong, and they're going to be doing a new show called Can't Be Censored this fall. So I'm really pleased when we see stuff like this because it's going to be causing CBC and the rest of mainstream media sleepless nights is exactly what we need. So more Travises, more Travises. Let's say
Mhm.
this loud, more Travises,
Yeah.
because you all know what's going on in there. And I get it. You have a career. You worked hard. You went to school for it. We walked up the levels of power. You have a mortgage. You have a family. All of those things I get. But you also have to do what's right.
Yep.
So thank you to Travis for doing that. And I'm looking forward to that show. I reached out to Travis. Maybe we can get him on. Haven't heard back yet. But look, you're looking for truth. You watch for stuff like this. People that break out of the mainstream, say it's bogus, like David Creighton did. And we've had a couple of guests that were ex mainstream media. Do that. You also do better. Like Tucker Carlson learned, and some of the others learned that when they got out of there, Megyn Kelly, when you got out of there and did your own thing, the market supports you.
Yep. So, not so much for Don Lemon.
If you peddle that stuff, then you're going to peddle that stuff.
Not so much for Mr. Lemon.
No,
or Lemon.
but if you're looking for truth and you are about truth, you can do quite well. YouTube is flipping the script again. They're removing restrictions on political speech banning. So a lot of people who were banned for political speech and COVID conversations are now going to be unbanned. That would include one of our channels.
I'm very curious if this is going to be international and therefore in Canada and therefore, some of our channels.
But what this does show, and this is what the CEO of Rumble highlighted, was this was political interference during the election, because they did this October 2020, right before the election. They shut down a whole bunch of conservative conversations. And Google's now admitting here that they did it for political reasons. It wasn't necessarily misinformation, as we're learning now.
Yeah, and I think Zuckerberg from Facebook has even commented and spoken out that there was influence on Facebook.
Well, will he bring back our party videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we'll be getting our old channel back. Maybe there's a process now to move the subscribers over to the new channel. Hopefully we can get all our POEC video, because that's the only place I had a copy of it. I now back up everything because of that experience. But this is interesting that through pressure, through Congress, it looks like possibly, through some lawsuits for sure, Google's now going to reverse those.
That'd be wonderful. I just want to highlight and shout out here to Bright Can News, a cool guy out of Guelph, and he's currently waving to us from YouTube jail.
Bright Can, we love you. Hopefully, you'll be unlocked, you'll be set free, and you can continue whatever it was that got you there. I get it. We've been delicate and dancing. We're on our third channel, so we tried. But that is, to me, that's breaking news, because that's the mission, that they were suppressing conversations, specifically conservative, political, and most of those included COVID at the time where people needed the right information. Trump is also, punching a bunch of eyes out in the UN here. Climate change is a scam and it's a lie. Sometimes you're not the popular guy when you call things a scam and a lie, when the information feels that way or looks that way. But here he is. He's at the UN, and coincidence? We get to it in a second here. Maybe it's one of the next ones here. But he has some technical difficulties at the UN, and only he did. We'll get into that in a moment. Gov Corrupt, our good friend Kevin, has posed the question: why is our government so hell-bent on ending our relationship with the United States? What's the end game? It's one word in my books: war. I do think that in 1984, George Orwell, being used as a blueprint instead of fiction, and never-ending wars, keeping the industry going, the industrial complex going, churning out lots of hate and fear and control over people, putting on the front lines of people you don't really want because they don't make it. Anyways, I think that book's being used in the nonfiction realm now. And of course, I believe it's war. Europe with Canada involved and the rest of the Commonwealth countries versus China, Russia, US. I think that's where we're headed. Possibly even an entire organization of BRIC, which would be India as well. And that would kind of put it almost at like 50-50 in population, like almost 4 billion versus 4 billion.
It would be, yeah. There's a lot of people in those neck of the woods.
There sure is. And this is just too bad to see. And this is being done by the political class, the globalist class. They're not even hiding it anymore. They put in one of their top guys into Canada. So, keep an eye on Carney. We warned you. We warned you. And not just us. Liz Truss, the former Prime Minister of the UK, warned you.
Yeah.
Lots of people warned you. Fortunately, People are more worried about birds than politicians at this stage. Okay, so what is block? What's block? Oh yeah, so somebody that likes to go around calling people fascists, right? So of course, if you bring up Antifa, you're going to get some of this hate as well. So
Yeah.
fascist. Everybody calls us fascists. We've been called racist and transphobe and phobe this and phobe that. It doesn't
Not
bother
scary.
us.
There's no phobia here.
No.
Nothing scary.
So this is just the latest one. But I do want to kind of make a point here, because if someone can kind of answer this, then maybe we can start ending this. So no, I'm not a fascist, but it makes them a fool. Exactly who's a fascist in Canada? I don't see Antifa protesting the current government who's taking more power, only their opposition. That makes Antifa the militant arm of actual fascists who's shutting down political opposition. Fools, all of you. A fascist is somebody that just rules by power and takes away more and more of your power and takes it for themselves. So whether it's your guns, your speech, hate, pronouns, compelled speech, the human rights commissions, whether or not they're actually about human rights anymore, that's fascism. And that's happening in Canada, but it's happening on the power that's been in there for 10 years now. And if
Yeah.
this was truly about anti-fascism, well, you definitely have an example of fascism developing in Canada on a daily or weekly basis, but they're not being protested by this group.
No, they're being knelt for, they're being encouraged, they're being ignored, their bad behavior and their actions against others.
Correct. So the Antifa is just a name, and somebody would say, well, anti-fascist means to fight fascism. Full version, anti-fascism, sure. Antifa is a brand. It is a movement, but it's a brand, and it doesn't mean to fight fascism. It means to fight fascism's opposition, because that's what they're doing. So take a close look at what they're doing, and then learn the word. And if you're going to be honest, you're going to realize anti-fascists or Antifa, and in Canada they're called like Cantifa. That is assisting the fascists develop in Canada, not countering them.
Yes, and they're calling here, I wear those wacky lefty labels with pride.
Yeah. Well, there was another one like far right or right wing. Don't worry about it. Like, seriously, don't worry about it. At this moment in time, it's actually a good thing to be far right of what's going on.
Correct.
So yeah, whatever. It doesn't bother us. We'll see where this goes. Hey, Dean, we're just getting set up. You got plenty of time, so don't worry. You can get your things set up. Daniel Smith made a post that says Alberta will not be responding to, well, actually, this is her response to the federal government gun grab. And I'll just read it to you. Our message to law-abiding firearm owners: Alberta's government will not be cooperating with this gun grab against law-abiding firearm owners. I really like that term, law-abiding firearm owners. Had it twice there. We expect law enforcement to focus their time and resources on real provincial policing priorities, like policing violent crimes, not hunters and sport shooters. Read more from their top cop, Mike Ellis, and the top lawyer. I don't want to say his name because I do not support him. Mickey guy. On our response to the federal government attack on law-abiding firearm owners. And my issue with Mickey is because there's been some corruption. There's an envelope in Lethbridge that needs to be examined and investigated. The judge already said it would be a very bad thing to come out for the Crown, the information in there, and yet it's still very quiet. That needs to come out. We called that the crime fraud envelope. And crime fraud is when a lawyer exercises power that's illegal, it's criminal, and this is what the allegation is in there. And the judge did say he sealed it for the public good, because it would cause upsetness with the Crown. They would be the public would be very upset with the Crown if this information came out, which are all the telltale signs that you need to go take a look at this. So again, about being truth, I'll even hold Danielle Smith. I think Mickey Amory needs to take a closer look at that. I've spoken to Daniel Smith in Drayton Valley about this, and we do know that that envelope is still sealed, and hopefully it doesn't go missing or something like that, because they did a really sincere job at making sure there was only one copy of that document.
So very suspicious. So Anyway.
Anyways, I'd love for them to come out and say, "Hey, yeah, we opened it, looked at it. It turns out it's a nothing burger. Here's what it says." We all read it.
That
and we
would
go,
be
and
fantastic.
we're like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's what it is." He told him to go pick up donuts, and that was it. Okay, fine. Or it was fraud.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get to the bottom of that one day. So here's a second part of the UN thing for Trump. Watch as he goes to the escalator, and boom, as soon as his foot touches it, it stops. The escalator stops. And it has to walk up, and then when he's doing a speech, the teleprompter stops. So childish games is coincidence. But anyways, a bullet couldn't stop Trump. An escalator and a teleprompter won't either.
Yep.
So if this is, somebody's pushing a button and the UN, because they're being defunded by Trump, is trying to retaliate a bit, you're making it all more reasonable to go ahead and end that organization.
I should take time and listen to though, because Pietro in local says that was quite a powerful speech by Trump. He didn't seem to hold back.
No, of course not. Yeah, a bunch of black guys in there for sure. Bunch of black eyes in there. And look.
Sorry, what are you saying? Bunch of what?
Black eyes.
Thank you. I didn't hear that clearly.
He was punching and making black eyes.
Perfect. Okay, black eyes.
Good. Okay. Thank you. If maybe you misheard, others may have. Well, so thanks for highlighting that. But no, he went in there swinging, and he definitely left a lot of climate people with black eyes because he was punching hard on this one. Okay, I'm glad that you clarified that some more. So I've also said to everybody, hey, go ahead and give us a listen and a follow on YouTube, because we'll probably upload some of our old stuff that we couldn't before. But the goal on YouTube is to reach people who are still asleep and wake them up.
Yes.
Okay. It's not that I want to support the platform that censored us. It's the largest platform by far with the most people who are still sleeping. If you're on Rumble and X and even Facebook watching this, you're awake.
Yeah, you're already on the same.
Yeah, you've already gone through that. But there's millions and millions in Canada, even in Alberta, that haven't been reached yet, but they are on YouTube. So this is why we're going into the Lion's Den to fight. It's because we need to. That's where the people are, and we wanted to go and help them. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Share it out there. And now some of these people that think, oh, all the bad stuff is off of YouTube, that means only truth is on YouTube.
No.
Let them think that. No, let them think that, because our truth is coming there back. So we're going to be there too. So if they believe YouTube's the only source for truth, great. Now let's reach them.
Yeah.
Because we'll be able to talk to them now. Conservatives are going to be back. And holy smokes, are going to be back strong too. Our very special guest today is Dean Rainey. And here's his video, which stayed on YouTube. And this is one of the things that helped me understand that YouTube was opening up again.
Right.
Because this would have been totally struck at another point in time.
As we've seen in the past. So yes, it was a very good indicator that a certain subject matter is open for conversation now.
Yep. So we'll be talking about this coming to Alberta. So you guys can join us to watch a screening. We'll get into that a lot more detail in a moment. And I published our Bruce Party's interview. So there's the two. I put them together, published them as a 2-hour video. So it was just him and the two of us talking to Bruce about the Independence Constitution draft that he has. So if you want to just consume it all at once without our little news segments in it, there you go. I published that last night. Randy Hilliard cleared again. So almost like every month now, there's more news about another charge being dropped on him. So the COVID charges are now dropped against Randy, who imposed the mandates. And I hope Randy sues so hard that Canada finally hits that bankruptcy. We're going to go through that. That's for sure. A couple more things here, and then we're going to jump on with Dean. So yeah, the Soros. When people go, well, who's the leader of Antifa? Who? George Soros. Okay, you're going to get there.
You have answered that, yes.
He's the funder. He's been doing this for many years. I guarantee you he has a receipt for pallets of bricks.
I was just about to say he's got his monthly subscription for brick loads.
Yeah, because during the protests of BLM, George Floyd, all that stuff, magically pallets of bricks were sitting on corners in cities. Anyways, so I think this is what's really worrying them. And if you watch this video, his son here, Alexander Soros, is basically admitting that Trump is really rocking the boat and is really interfering with the WEF. and causing a lot of problems with their missions.
Yeah.
So, yay. So black eyes on the WEF as well. Keep it up. And I'm still running for office. All right, look at that. Perfect timing. We're right on time. He's right on time. And we have our good friend, Dean, joining us. So let's go ahead and bring him in.
Morning, Dean.
Hey,
Good
Dean,
morning. Can you hear me?
nice to see you. Yeah, nice to see you. So where are you joining us from? Somewhere in Ontario?
Yep, I'm in Delhi, Ontario, in my home office here.
Excellent. I love the hair, by the way. I don't have enough to do that.
I do need a haircut, but I'm film director role now, so some wild hair goes with it.
For sure. And you're like the anti-establishment on YouTube because your video stayed up. Like that was when I reached out to you the first time when we were doing our tour out east. That was my question to you, was like, how did you stay on YouTube? How did that happen?
The reason is because they didn't need to censor us anymore. They already got us to do what they needed us to do so they can move on. And that's what I tell everybody. Nothing changed. Don't trust them anymore. They're not reformed. They're not free speech now. They're nothing other than what's convenient for the narrative. That's what I see. The next big issue that comes along, whatever side they find they need to be on, then the opposition will be pulled or censored or out of the algorithm. That's what I firmly believe. Do
you think the next one's going to be Charlie Kirk? What you can or can't say surrounding that, maybe?
I'm not sure. It'll probably be big. It'll probably be bigger things. Like for me, I saw it with when Russia invaded Ukraine. Anything that was opposition to the official narrative that Russia bad, Ukraine angel, got pulled down. Russia TV got pulled down. Oliver Stone's documentary got pulled down. I mean, that was on YouTube for like 6 years. And then when the invasion happened, it got pulled down because it presented information about the coup and all of that other background information that's important for people to know. So I'm not sure what it is, but it'll probably be something big.
And do you think it's going to more align with the Trump administration's current position? So, for example, Carney is recognizing the Palestinian state, U.S. or not. Could that be one of these things? Or is it just going to be YouTube still picking and choosing? Do you think there's a lot of influence from the current administration?
Well, clearly the current administration does have opinions and voices them. Whether they have much pressure on YouTube, I'm not sure. I don't know about that, because I am surprised by some of the recent developments of the pressure from the FCC on stations for Jimmy Kimmel. I don't want to see that. I didn't even like it when they gave Stern a hard time back in the 90s, but they've always had a role to kind of pick on broadcasters and keep them in line. So that's not new, but I don't like when I hear the rhetoric around, the government trying to cancel shows and put pressure on broadcasters.
Yeah, no, Howard Stern was somebody that I actually listened to back in the 90s. That's how old I am. I enjoyed it because he was counter, he was abrasive, he kind of did a lot of things that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. And I'm going to be honest with you, this might get a lot of tomatoes thrown at your screen. Back in the day, Dean Blundell was somebody I would listen to as well. Because he was in my market. I would listen to him. Now, both of these.
So at one time he was reasonable because
he was hilarious when he was on the Edge in Toronto. Like I'd watch it, like he had his group, he had his panel with him. So just, I guess the surface level entertainment was, it was exactly that. It was entertainment. And I was really surprised that years later after COVID, and I'm hearing all this stuff come out. I'm like, wow, it was a real shock, like a 180, quite frankly.
Do you think he had to make up for? Didn't he make some homophobic remarks on the radio and get canceled from there? Is that?
I really don't know his downfall.
Because when we left, that's the thing, we would have left the area in 2017. Yeah, right after Jacob. So 2017 is when we left the Toronto area, and therefore stopped listening to him on the Edge. So if anything happened after that, we don't know.
And my next encounter with him is I'm on X. I think it was even Twitter at the time, just kind of building up my political profile. And he posted about me. And he goes, be careful of this anti-vax nut bar or something like that. And I'm like, oh, you broke my heart, Dean, because I used to listen to you. And I don't know why you came and attacked me like that. I'm a nobody. Like 8 followers, and now Dean Blundell's doing this.
Dean Blundell is the Keith Olbermann of Canada.
I think so. Because I don't know if he got marching orders or anybody that said, hey, let's talk to these doctors, and then he would go after them or whatever. But first I was flattered. Hey, you know who I am? In a second, I was heartbroken. I'm like, dude, like, what's going
Mhm.
on here? And
I
then I
know.
learned a lot more about his stance and his positions and stuff like that. Same thing with Howard Stern. Howard
Yeah.
Stern said I should die because I won't take the vax and I shouldn't have access to hospitals and all that kind of stuff. And that was heartbreaking too, because up
Yeah.
until, was he on American Idol or which one was he on? X?
America's Got
Factor?
Talent.
One of those talent shows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when he
America's
was
Got
on
Talent.
there, I was still a fan. And then after this whole COVID thing, it's kind of when you really learned who was sane and who was
And
not.
their opinions.
Yeah.
And the opinions of others.
And it's not that they were like they were for something. They were viciously anti
Right.
other people. And I think that's kind of the line.
Mhm.
Like, you could be for the shot, go get the shot. You can even say, I don't understand why others don't take it, but to call for the death of, and this
Yeah.
was something Kimmel did, call for the death of,
That's
and say
right.
you don't have access to hospitals because of that choice. That's too much.
I have a screen grab
you-
of the Toronto Star during that time, during the height of it all, like the front page. Do you remember that, where there was an opinion piece and they made it the headline of the whole front page of the Toronto Star
That's right.
saying, no ICU for the unvaxxed. If they die, I don't care. And I pull that out now when I'm speaking, having a conversation with friends that maybe aren't awake to all of this. And I say, do you remember this time? And they're just faced with it right there. And you can see them just
In print,
trying to
that's right.
process it. And they kind of remember and go, wow, it's like a forgotten time.
Yeah, and it wasn't partisan. Like, it was both sides. Like, there was a Mark Slapinski, I think his name is. He's a journalist that claims to be on the conservative side. He said round them up in trucks and get rid of them, take them to camps. Like, he said that. And he was very serious, because I don't know if he's just following the wind or whatever, but he was trying to go after that group, the unvax. It wasn't a conservative thing. It wasn't a liberal thing anymore, because he's supposed to be a conservative commentator. Yet he said, fire up the trucks, go collect
Yeah.
them. So it was pretty nasty, but we made it through.
Yeah.
And I'm unvaxxed, you're unvaxxed,
Mhm.
and we're alive. Okay, our kids are alive. None of us dropped dead.
You actually have nothing to worry about going forward. With those with vaccines may have something to
Yeah.
be aware
Right,
of
and
and watch.
And that takes us into your film, your documentary. Let's go ahead and introduce your journey there and the main subject of that one. I always get his last name wrong, so I'm gonna have to hear it a couple more times. But let's go ahead and jump into that journey of making that film.
Yeah, so Michael Osh, just Michael
Osh.
Osh is how you say the last name. Osh is a gentleman in my small town here in Southern Ontario, and he's a filmmaker as well. And so we know each other because we're sort of in the same field, although he's semi-retired down to this small town from Toronto. And he reached out one day and said, I'm having some health issues, and I think this is related to the COVID vaccine based on my research and what I've been looking into and how it's all rolling out. And I'm struggling, and I can't really find anybody that really acknowledge this and talk about this. Do you think there's a documentary here? So I thought, oh my gosh, this is right in my own backyard. This is a person I know. And but I don't typically make science or political documentaries. I make like cooking shows and talent search shows and tourism promos and all kinds of stuff like that, but not something like this. So I was hesitant, but I thought I have to move forward with this because I knew that he was very pro-vax when it all was rolled out. So if he's had a change of heart, then I have to look into this because something is not right. So then began my journey with him as he went through the medical system, trying to A, get acknowledgement for this, and then B, try to get some treatment and healing. And we took about a year and a half to make it, and we released it in April. It's called Why Can't We Talk About This? For obvious reasons, because it's been a real struggle to get people to talk about that topic of vaccine injuries.
100%. And when it came out, it was brought to my attention. First thing that went through my mind is, well, I got sent a YouTube link, so this is going to be buffed. There's not going to be much here, but a lot of people sent it to me, and that's one of the beautiful things about having this show and having the audience that we do is we're always constantly getting information and links and stuff from people. You got to watch this. You got to watch this. And we just happened to be driving from Montreal to the Toronto area.
Yeah,
we
we
were
were
Pickering, I think, at the time. And I'm like, all right, let's just throw it on. And you start off by saying, I'm a filmmaker, but I don't normally do this. A little bit surprised. And then you went into it. I'm like, oh, wow. This is what we need to hear more of. Somebody who had to learn almost the hard way what some of these are. But one of the things that I kind of want to kind of update on from you, because I don't know if there's going to be a next part to this, is he still sounded like he thought it was necessary, and he was just one of the unlucky ones who kind of had a bad outcome. Is that still Michael's position? Like, what is his current update since the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what his thoughts are right now, but we see each other regularly and keep in touch because of the screenings, and then we are also working on covering the next chapter of what's happening to him, which is hopefully the solution and getting this healing. But yeah, he was pro mandates. It seemed, he really wanted everybody. He thought he was doing the right thing, and he thought everybody else should jump in line as well. And I think now he is awake to the fact that maybe the mandates were too much and passports, and that, we have to look, sort of be more, consider more things when we take these. But again, I don't want to speak on his behalf, how he's feeling right now.
Yeah, okay. So, but that's what makes it more powerful, was that was his position. Like, we need this, we do this, and we take this.
And the journey,
and then,
through the film, through the film, you can kind of see him struggle with that. Like, and I let that in there. I wanted that contradiction, or that journey of his own. How does he see this? Because he starts off saying that, he might have a latent spike infection, and then he might have long COVID. And then it's not till later on where he really starts to make the connection. And then the doctors affirm, but off the record. And, he does a lot of research, and his wife is a medical technical writer. So he's done a lot of research with her. So he's familiar with medical research, which is great. And then now he knows exactly what's going on and what happened to him.
And what is his current medical status? Has he found a way to deal with this? Has it been suppressed? Is it still progressing?
Mm-hmm.
What is his current medical status? If you can share that.
Yeah, so he's in long-term care. He's just a couple of years older than me, but he's in long-term care with no official treatment plan for him by our health system. So everything he does, he has to do on his own. When the film came out, a lot of people, it was very overwhelming. A lot of people said, oh, try this protocol, try this supplement, try this, try that. So we had to be very careful to sort of stick with what his natural path and doctors were sort of cool with, and not try everything under the sun. But eventually he's landed on a supplement called augmented NAC, which is something that can detox him of the spike protein. And he's been on that for a couple of months, and it's early stages. It's going to be a long journey, but we are seeing some improvement. I don't want to say too much because we're working on a sequel. Like, when Michael and I set off to make this film, I was like, okay, you've got a vaccine injury. I want to talk about the messaging from the government. I want to talk about what the doctors, what the College of Physicians and Surgeons were doing. I want to talk about what the media was doing. And he really wanted to go, okay, no, I'm going to beat this. And I want the film to be about how I beat it, and let me teach people how to beat it. Mm-hmm. That's not the film we could make. So we're doing this sequel now where potentially he can rid his body of the spike protein and start to heal again. So we're following that journey. So for the first time in, I think, a year, he ate with a fork and spoon. And I went to film with him, and he actually stood up with his physiotherapist. I mean, he's hanging on the wall, and it's a battle, but he was standing up. And I had never seen him in that position in 2 years. So that was incredibly encouraging.
That is incredibly encouraging. I'm really glad that there's a sequel talking about the recovery and the positive outcome. Hopefully that's where it leads. In 2022, when I started doing this show, well, not this particular show, but started to do podcasting, I had the folks, or the young folks from Students Against Mandates on the show. And we were talking about that exact thing. Like, we were starting to see already reports of injury, lots of them, and they were just trickling. It was like, I heard about somebody in my town. And as you know, as time went on, I heard about someone in my neighborhood. Then it was somebody nearby. Then it was my family. And then it was me. Like, you started to hear more and more people getting injured as more of it was coming out. But at that time, our biggest concern was the recovery, the rebounding of these people. Because if 80% of people, let's say half of them, so 40% of our entire country was sick and injured and couldn't work, that would be a devastation to not just us socially, but economically as well. So back then in 2022, we're like, what do? We got to be there for them. We can't do the haha, told you. We have to do the come here, let's help. And so that's what it sounds like. Your part 2, your sequel is going to be covering is we need to repair and recover from this. And that's one of the main themes. And hopefully society doesn't say like what they said about us, like screw them, they deserve to. Hopefully we take a far more empathetic and sympathetic approach to it. Because if we don't, then we can see a thing like another divide, economic collapse, and maybe these people deciding, screw it, I'm not going to try and get better and get back to living.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that did surprise me when I rolled out the film was those that were unvaccinated, some were still carrying a lot of anger towards those that had the vaccine, and even if they were injured. So that kind of surprised me, but I guess it's understandable because, for 2 or 3 years, a lot of people that were unvaccinated really had very, very, very difficult lives, very, very difficult lives that we made for them as a society. But my hope is that we don't go down that. So I tried to say, like, okay, you had a rough 2 or 3 years. Those with vaccines have potentially a lifetime of rough years. So just, you don't want to be, when they were blocking you and mandating you, it didn't work. It didn't change your thought. You didn't accept it. So, kind of being angry at them and saying you deserve that. Because I've gotten letters. Michael doesn't seem sorry enough. Really? I don't think he doesn't owe anybody apology. This is a man experiencing life. Yes, he's made mistakes, but he doesn't owe you anything. Other than and I think he's done a lot. He's been so brave to tell this story.
Correct.
He's had, friends don't want to talk about it. On his social media, he could never really say, for the longest time till the film came out, he could not say it was a vaccine injury. Even though he believed it, even though he was working to heal it, he could not say that publicly because the stigma was too much. And I am happy to report from being on the road, we're loosening it. And more times than not, people the unawake just don't know. They just haven't even heard this. It hasn't come across their radar yet. And once they do, and you can actually dialogue with them, they're acceptable. I was able to speak at a Rotary Club last week in Barrie. And for me, that was like one of the most important screenings I've done. I didn't even get to screen the film. I could only go and talk about the film. And I had to take a really neutral sort of perspective on presenting it because the film, I make it political because it was political at the time, right? Our politicians were giving us health advice and all that. So they're in there. And I had to tone it down because I wasn't sure about the audience and we wanted to be sensitive and we didn't want to scare anybody off. But they just took it in like any other health topic and they came up and I heard so many people right there that like, I know somebody, I felt something. This is important. What can we do for these people? Because it's just another health issue. If we have other issues health-wise and there's a problem or an outbreak or whatever, we get those people help. But for some reason, this one, they're just very slow to acknowledge it. If you can't acknowledge it, you can't treat them.
And I think part of that was the heavy attack on anybody that was dissident to it, even if just hinting, during the beginning of it, you were called names, you were called a bunch of things. And it was nasty. And you had all news stations saying that, stay away from these crazy misinformation people.
Yeah, the prime minister say it. When the prime minister comes out and sets the tone, that's the end. That's just so disheartening to see that.
The prime minister here and then the president down south and, of course, and then the Xing on Twitter at the time and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And you mentioned the term not awake or need to wake up. I think what they've discovered, and they discovered this a long time ago, if you make it emotional, people will turn off the rational portion of their brain. So the save grandma, you can make other people sick. You could be the cause of problems. You're making it emotional and individualized to them. And that's a hypnotic. It really just confuses the brain. Like how many people inside themselves would have the conversation, well, I need to push against this because there's no testing. This came out too quick. My wife did, but not many people are like that. We shouldn't be doing this so fast. But there's that grandma thing, and I don't want to kill grandma. So it's difficult for people to get past their emotions. And this is actually happening real time right now in our chat. because I have taken a position of we need more information about the
Mhm.
ostriches, and I'm being told in my chat, just believe them. Believe all women, right?
Not
We've
by
heard that
all.
term. Just believe them. Don't look into it any further. You don't have to. They're animals. To save them. It's happening right now in my chat. The exact same thing I'm trying to describe here is when you get emotional, you get blinded. Okay, and if you want truth, sometimes the truth isn't what you are told or what you believe. You have to dig a little bit further.
Yeah.
And this is no different. We're seeing that happen even on other topics. So the Charlie Kirk, right now, if you said something like, well, Charlie Kirk was funded and built up and maybe he was no longer helpful, holy smokes, will you get it, even if it's true? So look, there's a lot of taboo subjects. This is why we have that word. And COVID, I think, by far was the most amplified taboo one we have ever had. But this is a psychological thing. It happens innocently and it happens on purpose as well. And I think we're seeing it play out in my chat right now.
And if I could say just the emotional thing, that's a great point that you bring up. And so you have to keep yourself away from the emotion. But what do the politicians and the media do? They use emotion. They use emotion. They get you riled up. And one thing we know in media is people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel.
Yep. Yes.
So-
Completely true. Yeah,
Not
completely
only
true.
do you not only have to push out the emotion when you're trying to get to the truth, but you got to be aware of what the other people are saying to you to try to get you convinced of something.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and I think truth seekers and truth tellers are the type of people that they can sniff it out if they're told what to say or what to think. And that's like, oh, wait, hold on a second. I'm going to dig deeper on that one. Now, did I get it right? You weren't vaxxed, right?
no, I'm vaxxed. Yeah.
Okay. So take us through that journey of you getting the vax. Why did you? And then what did you figure out after the fact?
Yeah, it was a journey. So I was hesitant. I was hesitant from the beginning just because I remember Oxycontin. I remember that being marketed to us as safe and non-addictive. And then I went away from Canada for 10 years. And when I came back, there was an epidemic of young middle-class men addicted to it. And, guys in the trades that would like hurt their back and then get a prescription and then just can't rebound, can't get off it. So I was like, okay, I'm just a little bit hesitant of all pharmaceuticals. And my doctor's been fairly good up until the vaccine about just not getting us on a lot of stuff. So I was watching. I lived in Hong Kong during SARS the first time. So I was there for the dress rehearsal. And so I was watching very carefully what we were doing now. And stuff just didn't make sense to me. The 6 foot apart and, going into dollar stores and taping off all the like pens and paper, but you can eat all the processed food crap you want and don't go out and get sunshine. Just things didn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hesitant, but honestly, like the social pressure was very hard. It was very, I didn't have parents that said, if you don't take it, we'll disown you, but it was clear that they really wanted us to get it. And I have a 95-year-old Nana who's still with us. And I just didn't want it to be an issue with us. And, my wife was even saving, like we were sending money to her mom in Thailand, make sure she could get a vaccine. And I was hesitant and she thought it was the right thing to do. But then as we worked through it and we dragged our feet, like my daughter only has one, we were the last people. I was also just like, can I work? I can't put a set together. I can't put a crew together because I don't have the vaccine. So all my shows will be canceled. And so we made that choice and I didn't feel good, but I did it. And it's something I have to live with, I guess. I'm so jealous of all of you who really, really stood your ground. At the end of the day, I capitulated. And that's what I had to do. And I had to deal with it. But I think it's also, I guess, turned out to be good because now I can make this film and people can't say I'm an anti-vaxxer because I got 2 of them in my arm. So, I tried to help you. I can't listen. I can't trust you anymore, pharma or government. Now you've blown it, but you had me there for a second. And now
I'm
my
grateful
wife as well.
that you guys are uninjured. I'm very grateful to hear that.
Yeah. And Dr. Shoemaker is somebody else who got 2 vax as well. And he speaks out and he was in your documentary as well. And let's go ahead and talk about Dr. Shoemaker, Dr. Speaker, Dr. Hodgkinson, who's out here in Alberta already, will be joining us as well. And we're planning to have some showing. So we're going to be showing your movie here in Edmonton Red Deer in Calgary, the 17th, 18th, and 19th of October. We're still getting all the plans done. I even have a place for you in Edmonton already. And because we're going to do a double showing, because I'm working on a Sean Hartman documentary, because the Sean Hartman story is a very serious one that hasn't really been told much. And it's not that you had the opportunity and you chose not to. You didn't even know about Sean Hartman.
That's right.
When you're doing your video. So I think it's going to be a good double feature to show your movie, show the Sean Hartman here in Alberta. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about what you think about coming out to Alberta and start doing some screening.
Really excited. Really excited. I can't tell you what it means to us. We launched the film in April. And so, we faced backlash and hard to book theaters and people refusing to even rent space to us. So we've been really, grinding it out there, going from small town to small town and trying to show these. So when you said, why don't you come out west, is like, yes, why can't we come out west? Like, if anybody's going to accept this film, it's the great people of Alberta, right? The open-minded people of Alberta. We took August off just to, recharge and to just, people are on vacation, they're at the cottage, they don't want to talk about the issue. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to take a little break. And then when we come back in September, we're going to hit it hard again, because it's like back to work, back to school, back to business, back to the issues. And that's what it's turned out to be. So this is just fantastic that we can ramp it up right up to come out to see you in Alberta in October.
And I'm also very honored because I sat down with you in Burlington and we recorded an interview that we'll release in the coming weeks or so, because I also deep dive with you about your journey here, and also you. Like, we had about 30 minutes with you here today, but we dive even deeper. So that will be released in the coming weeks. And in addition to that one, because I was working on a little special for you, Dr. Shoemaker, speaker, and yourself, I'll be putting together one specifically about the film itself. So there'll be a bit of a feature about the film and a feature about Dean and one about Sean Hartman. So everybody can pay attention to that. It's going to be coming out. But we're working hard, because this is the kind of stuff that you've inspired us to do. We didn't plan to do this whole thing until I listened to your documentary. We were out there doing Alberta self-determination, but I felt compelled that I had to go meet you. Thanks for being very open to doing that. And get some more of your story out and your documentary. So thank you, Dean, for doing all that hard work.
Well, thank you. And it meant a lot to me, because I felt bad that I missed Sean's story. It was hard during the time when we were making this. No one was really talking. No one was really saying anything. And so we couldn't find these people. And so sort of, I feel like we've opened the floodgates now. And then I didn't want Sean's story to fall behind and be forgotten. So it's just great that you're picking it up and just adding to, this issue. Like, let's just talk about all of this that's happened. And that's a heartbreaker story too.
It absolutely is. Dan won't be able to make it because he's looking at surgery, but we're going to have him come in remotely, maybe give a message or take some questions. And we also have Dr. Thorpe from the US. He can't come up personally, but we're going to be doing some live one-on-one with him as well, because he's one of the people that also exposed some of the issues with Sean. So we're going to have basically 4 of the doctors that were early in this situation, and then Dan himself involved in this. So I think it's really important. So, Dean, we're going to have to let you run, get you back to the hard work that you're doing. Really appreciate you getting up nice and early for us and sharing the journey of Michael Osh with us.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you and the work you guys are doing. We all appreciate it. Keep it up.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Dean. You have yourself a great day, and God bless. All right, I got to push a button. There it is. Okay, he's awesome. Okay, like immediately he said, yeah, let's talk. He found a place for us to do some interviews at. Dean is one of the good guys. I'm really pleased that he's working hard to get that out there. He's even offered some of his skills to help with the Hartman video as well.
Yep.
So I'm happy our paths crossed.
Yep. And I put his link in the chat for the documentary straight on YouTube. But if you missed it, you can go straight to his website, raineymedia.com/video-store. And it'll give you the link there. You can watch the Why Can't We Talk About This documentary on YouTube.
Yep. And also thanks very much to the people who are jumping in our chat. We know this already. Okay. We don't hate animals. We raise animals.
There's been both sides of the conversation going on in the chat, in our locals chat. So yes, it's not just one-sided of say, don't get me wrong. No one wants to see the death of birds and ostriches. They're cool. They're funky things. Their eyeballs are bigger than their brains. Like, it's great. But there's more. There's always more to a story, and the whole point is all that more information needs to come out so we can make informed decisions of what we choose to support.
Absolutely. And if it comes out that the government was wrong, this was overreach, this was a destruction of perfectly healthy everything, that's going to come out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're not taking a side. We're just taking a side of truth on this one. There's more to it. So if you feel really emotional about it and that we have to do something and there's no time to talk, then you are wrapped up in the blinders because we have to talk. Then yes, somebody set the hay on fire. We talked about that already in the show. That wasn't lightning and that wasn't the police. So I suspect that was somebody trying to stop it or someone trying to destroy it all. In either case, it is what it is. We don't know who that was. It could have been a provoker. It could have been somebody that wants to cause a bad look on the people that are fighting for this. We have no idea who it was, but we know it wasn't lightning. So yeah, just stay tuned. More will come out. It's still all happening right as we speak. I'll be having conversations right after this with several people. So I want you all to just, if you're here for the truth, stick around because we're going to try and flesh it all out, and we won't lie to you. We won't jump on a bandwagon. We won't put up a donate link. We won't start selling hats with big eyeballs on it or anything like that. We really want to know what's going on here, because if it's government overreach and they're murdering birds, then that's exactly what we'll expose.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Thank you everyone who tuned in today. We greatly appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow.
And thank you to Dean for taking some time with us today. Looking forward to seeing him in October. And yes, we'll be posting things soon so that you can go ahead and get there, and it will be very affordable because we want you guys to be there. Have yourself a great day. Take care of each other. Love you all. God bless.